December 13, 2020. A trusted software update was already the weapon. Soft source FireEye. The SolarWinds hack did not start with a stranger at the firewall. It started when customers installed Orion the way they always had, through the vendor's own update channel. Soft source, the name that will trend for years, SolarWinds. The open question still cuts. How do you poison the patch everyone trusts? Tonight's corporate breach case is SolarWinds. Orion's, a supply chain implant researchers called SUNBURST. Soft source, every contested count. We will walk FireEye's break. The CISA alert. The 8K numbers. Then the identity trick that walked past multi-factor in cloud mail. We will separate the wide backdoor from the deep raids. Follow the paper trail, not the mythology. Orion is not a consumer app. Think of it as the control room for enterprise IT. It watches servers, networks, and performance across the estate. Soft source, SolarWinds' own product framing. To do that job, it sits with privileged sightlines. Soft source, the 8K later for how large Orion was to the business. That privilege is why a poisoned update is so expensive. A spy wants the seat that sees everything. Enterprises patch because vendors tell them to. Soft source, that habit as industry practice, not a quote. A signed update feels like hygiene. In this campaign, the hygiene step was the entry. The file looked legitimate. The channel looked official. The trust was the attack surface. Soft source FireEye. Multiple Trojanized updates were posted to the SolarWinds Updates website between March and May 2020. On December 13, 2020, FireEye went public. Soft source FireEye. They described a global intrusion campaign. Trojanized SolarWinds Orion updates. A backdoor they named SUNBURST. Soft source, their cluster label UNC2452. FireEye said it found the campaign while investigating a compromise of its own environment. Soft source, that irony carefully. The company that sells threat intelligence had to announce that a supply chain implant was already global. The hunter became the first loud alarm. Here is the first turn. Soft source CISA, the same window. Active exploitation of Orion builds released roughly March through June 2020. The backdoor was not a weekend smash. It had been riding trusted updates for months before the public theater. CISA told operators the versions in play. Soft source, the alert. Orion platform releases from 2019.4 hotfix 5 through 2020.2.1 hotfix 1. Soft source, those version strings carefully. Government language framed a grave risk to federal, critical infrastructure and private networks. Soft source, that framing to CISA. SolarWinds filed an 8K. Soft source, the company. They had been made aware of a cyber attack that inserted a vulnerability into Orion monitoring products. Soft source, their line. Likely a highly sophisticated supply chain attack by an outside nation state. Soft source again. They had not identified the attacker in that filing. Investigation. Hotfixes. Cooperation with the FBI and intelligence community. Soft source, the filing date around December 14, 2020. Soft source FireEye's technical narrative. After install, SUNBURST could stay quiet. Soft source, a dormancy window on the order of up to about 2 weeks before beaconing. Then it reached out through domain tricks that looked like ordinary traffic. Patience is part of the weapon. Noise comes later. Here is how the path worked, in plain English first. Attackers poison the Orion update. Customers download it from the trusted channel. The backdoor lands with privileged monitoring access. Soft source FireEye. On selected targets, a second stage loader they called Teardrop can drop further tools. Soft source, that name. Soft source FireEye again, on Cobalt Strike beacon use in some cases. The supply chain is the door. The follow-on is the burglary. Sign trust, quiet foothold, then hands-on work. Second turn, soft source the scale gap that confuses headlines. Not every infected install became a deep raid. Soft source CISA and contemporary reporting. The backdoor was wide. The hands-on espionage was narrower. Breadth and depth are different crimes wearing the same logo. Soft source FireEye on teardrop. A memory-only dropper. Soft source their note that it could load a cobalt strike beacon. Soft source the product name carefully. That is post-compromise tooling. The update got them in. The second stage let them work. Then the identity pivot. Soft source CISA. After initial access, actors often moved toward Microsoft cloud systems. Soft source Golden SAML. Steal the Active Directory Federation Services Token Signing Certificate. Forge SAML tokens. Walk into cloud resources without the usual multi-factor challenge. Soft source CISA. This is not magic that breaks every phone prompt. It forges the trust paperwork upstream. Soft source CISA remediation notes for operators cleaning Federation after the fact. Third turn, soft source the lesson. Multi-factor on the mailbox is not enough if the Federation keys are stolen. The SolarWinds hack taught a generation that identity can be forged after the network is owned. Soft source that framing to CISA's remediation guidance, not folklore. For operators, the stake is operational trust. Soft source the mood from contemporary reporting. You applied the vendor hotfix culture you were trained to follow. Then your monitoring box became a foothold. Soft source federal and enterprise anxiety without inventing victim quotes. The human cost is sleepless incident response, and the fear that email was already copied. Soft source CISA on cloud mailbox pivots without inventing private victim names. Soft source the 8K numbers. SolarWinds said it communicated with approximately 33,000 Orion product customers on active maintenance. Soft source again. The company believed fewer than 18,000 may have installed Orion builds that contained the vulnerability. Soft source the company's wider claim of over 300,000 customers overall. Not all Orion, not all hit. Soft source Orion revenue context. About $343 million. Roughly 45% of total revenue for the 9 months ended September 30th, 2020. Soft source those dollars as company math, not damages. Put the dates on one ribbon. Soft source each. March through June 2020, tainted Orion releases in the wild. December 13th, FireEye and CISA public break. December 14th, SolarWinds 8K. Later, government attribution soft source to Russian SVR. Soft source attribution as government naming. Soft source US. Government attribution. Later public guidance tied the campaign to Russia's Foreign Intelligence Service. Soft source that as government assessment. Do not invent courtroom proof in this script. Soft source SolarWinds early 8K. They had not identified the attacker yet. Attribution matured after the first shock. SolarWinds is headquartered in Austin, Texas. Soft source the company geography. The update channel was global. The paper trail is American securities filings and US. Government alerts. Soft source that split. One city. Many networks. Open questions remain. Soft source every mystery. How many deep follow-ons stayed quiet? How build systems get isolated enough that a poisoned update cannot ship? What does vendor trust mean when monitoring software holds the keys to the kingdom? The investigation is a paper trail, not a closed myth. Cleanup is unromantic. Soft source CISA hardening themes. Assume breach if vulnerable Orion was present. Preserve evidence before you wipe. Rebuild from known good images when needed. Rotate Federation secrets and token signing certificates. Soft source Golden SAML recovery. Segment monitoring tools so a single agent cannot see the whole kingdom. Treat vendor updates as high-risk change control. Soft source the principle. Trust, then verify the build pipeline. Soft source one more line. Identity keys are crown jewels after a supply chain foothold. Sources for tonight. Soft source each. FireEye's SUNBURST write-up. CISA's alert and remediation guidance. SolarWinds 8K. Soft source government attribution statements carefully. Full links go in the description. Soft source the trends phrase SolarWinds hack as search language, not a legal finding. We do not invent counts. We cite them. Which corporate failure should we open the file on next? Comment the company. Comment the year. This is corporate breach. We follow filings, not folklore. Soft source every hard claim. Subscribe if you want the next case file when the paper trail opens. End of file.